Om. Om. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha, Gurureva Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Chinmayam Vyapyat Sarvam Trailokyam Sacharacharam Tatpadam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Tvameva Mata Shapita Tvameva Tvameva Bandhuscha Sakha Tvameva Tvameva Vidyanam Tvameva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So where are we in our text?
Starting chapter 30.
Chapter 30.
Chapter 30. You are free now.
Yes.
You are free now. What is it that you want to desire? Desire it. You are the infinite potentiality, the inexhaustible possibility. Because you are, all can be. The universe is but a partial manifestation of your limitless capacity to become. Questioner. There are so many theories about the nature of man and the universe. The creation theory, the illusion theory, the dream theory, any number of them. Which is true? Maharaj, all are true, all are false. You can pick up whichever you like best. Questioner, you seem to favor the dream theory. Maharaj, these are all ways of putting words together. Some favor one way, some favor another. Theories are neither right nor wrong. They are attempts at explaining the inexplicable. It is not the theory that matters, but the way it is being tested. It is the testing of the theory that makes it fruitful. Experiment with any theory you like. If you are truly earnest and honest, the attainment of reality will be yours. As a living being, you are caught in an untenable and painful situation, and you are seeking a way out. You are being offered several plans of your prison, none quite true. They are all of some value, but only if you are in dead earnest. It is the earnestness that liberates, and not the theory. Questioner, theory may be misleading, and earnestness blind. Maharaj, your sincerity will guide you. Devotion to the goal of freedom and perfection will make you abandon all theories and systems and live by wisdom, intelligence, and active love.
So let's stop there for a moment, because a very important point is implied here that has to do with faith. we need Shraddha. We need faith. Faith in the truth of the scriptures. That faith gives us confidence to enter into the path. We endeavor to have faith in the teaching of the Guru and of the scriptures that this will be efficacious. But this always needs to be balanced with ruthlessness. Swamiji used to say, blind faith is stupid faith and will fail us in a crisis. So, my suggestion is, on a somewhat regular basis, examine your beliefs and at least temporarily reject everything you do not know for sure. Be ruthless about it. Don't believe the teacher. Don't believe the scripture. What do you know absolutely for sure? I can only tell you what I've come up with. I know that I am. And I know that I cognize something. And I can't tell you what it is. Created, is it imagined, is it dreamed? All sorts of theories about what it is. But it's not a blank wall. There's stuff going on. And that's about it. I know when I want stuff, it hurts. I know when the wanting ceases, the suffering stops. How to make that suffering stop? That's worthy of examination. Always, always, always use what the scriptures say. Use what the Guru says as hypotheses. Be a spiritual scientist. Question everything. And do our best to test these hypotheses in the laboratory of direct experience. Now, you can set that aside and go on with your lives with all sorts of theories and values and stuff if you wish. But always on a regular basis. What's going on?
Stop deportation.
Oh. Okay. I won't deport anybody today. Okay. Any thoughts on this? The practice of ruthlessness. You can also close the window there in the bedroom if you wish, Howard. All right, next verse or next section going on.
Theories may be good as starting points, but must be abandoned. The sooner, the better. Questioner. There is a yogi who says that for realization, the Eightfold Yoga is not necessary, that willpower alone will do. It is enough to concentrate on the goal with full confidence in the power of pure will to obtain effortlessly and quickly what others take decades to achieve. Maharaj, concentration, full confidence, pure will. With such assets, no wonder one attains in no time. This yoga of will is all right for the mature seeker who has shed all desires but one. After all, what is will but steadiness of heart and mind?
So let's stop there. So many of us have an arrogant notion of our own abilities. Oh, this direct path, only through will I could do this. When in fact we in truth have wimpy willpower. St. Paul says, I do not do that which I would do, and I do that which I hate. Therefore, it is not I that do it, but sin that is lodged in my limbs. He used the word sin where we use vasana. Who of us has had the experience, I'm going to do X, Y, and Z, and we don't do it? Mm-hmm. Or I'm going to stop doing A, B, and C, and we do it anyway. So for those of us whose minds are not very pure, and our yoga balam, the power or strength of our capacity, our concentration is not that strong, there are these preparatory practices. There are those of us who, in fact, are able to cut directly to the truth. So these are karmic circumstances. There's not one size fits all. Not one size fits all. The questioner says Ashtanga Yoga, the Eightfold Path. Even that is not the only way. That's one of the beauties of Bhagavad Gita. We have every single chapter is entitled the yoga of fill in the blank. So many practices have helped purify the head and the heart. And what Maharaj is saying is in fact true. In the end, be steadfast. Keep on keeping on. I like to tell people I've been a crappy yogi. All sorts of little side tricks, stuff like that. But I've been steadfast. Still at it 50 years later. Any thoughts on this? Going on.
Given such steadfastness, all can be achieved. Questioner, I feel the yogi did not mean mere steadiness of purpose, resulting in ceaseless pursuit and application. He meant that with will fixed on the goal, no pursuit or application is needed. The mere fact of willing attracts its object. Maharaj, whatever name you give it, will, steady purpose, or one-pointedness of the mind, you come back to earnestness, sincerity, honesty. When you are in dead earnest, you bend every incident, every second of your life to your purpose.
So, I was talking with a student last week, and he kind of had the idea that, if he has an intellectual understanding of something, then it'll just drop in his lap automatically. So he didn't think that it was necessary to work at any kind of control or discipline of the mind. The fact of his experience is that he was easily triggered and then would spin out into all sorts of resentment and anger, self-hatred, depression, dwelling on things. And I says, no, 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 no. It's not going to happen automatically. There's a discipline. There's a practice that's necessary. What is the practice? Tapas. Tapas is usually translated as austerity, but its most effective translation is to understand that the mind is ruled by the law of inertia. Inertia is a body in motion at rest or at rest in a vacuum. It's going to stay that way until energy is applied to move it or change it. So you can go and learn why your mind has this particular habituated chain of thinking and feeling. But at some point, we have to take up the discipline. No, I'm not going to let the mind go down that particular chain of thought. I'm going to move into a different one. An attitude adjustment. This is what I need to do. And in the end, there's no shortcut. False ideas. Oh, the Guru's grace is going to do it. I'm just going to sit here with my negative thinking and Baba will fix it. Well, yes and no. We have to cooperate with grace. We have a part. Are we going to fall short? Of course we are. So Maharaj's suggestion is not be perfect. It's be steadfast. It's a difference. Now we have a mental health professional with us. Tell me what your training and experience has shown you when you have a client with a habituated thought atmosphere of, say, self-negation, self-abuse, or anger, or fear, or whatever it is. What does your training suggest that you do?
My training suggests to allow that process to happen and watch it and be with it and follow it where it goes. And usually it leads to, so far in my experience, it leads to like old traumas. And when we get there, it's not just about the understanding, but it's being with that pain and like allowing it to complete whatever needs to happen, right? Like grief, if it needs to complete, letting that go makes it a lot easier to change those habituated thought patterns. And
but what happens if you have a patient who just continues to stay in that? We both known our friends who are that way.
after a certain point, it's up to them to like to stop that pattern and to like do it with love though. It's the love that allows something different to happen.
Yeah.
Like for me personally, I found that a lot of times like I can tell when I need to change my thinking, but there's a part of me that's like, you're ignoring me. You can't change your thinking because I would be ignored. And so it's navigating that dance, right? Of giving it attention, but also shifting out of
Well, you have
the
to be
story.
aware. That's the thing. I like to say 90% of healing is awareness.
Yes.
So I think what you're describing is the process of becoming completely aware of what's going on.
Yeah, exactly.
But in the end, we have a mutual friend who's struggled and struggled to get out of old patterns. And it's just really hard. And I'm not sure just being aware of it is the answer. And in the end, taking a pill isn't the answer either.
I think the awareness, once a person becomes aware that what they're doing is causing them pain, like that's the awareness that like changes and motivates them to,
But it motivates.
yeah, and they still must do.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That's the tapas.
Yeah.
That's the tapas.
Yeah.
There's no shortcut.
Yeah.
There's no shortcut. Now, some of us can get great value from psychotherapy. I sometimes like to frame psychotherapy as this is meditating out loud with the support of someone else. What else is meditation but making the unconscious conscious? So I assume it does not like a lot of what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can do it without psychotherapy in meditation. But for some people, that's too much of a challenge. They need the help, they need the support, they need the guidance. There's no one size fits all. But in the end, all it is mental habit. How did it get there? Obviously, at some point, those mental habits were some form of a survival mechanism. We thought it would protect or make us safe or give us a sense of power or control. It just doesn't work. This is not to say that some of us have not been deeply traumatized as children. But I can only share with you my observations. Lots and lots of people who have done trauma work still haven't been able to be freed from their triggers. They understand it, but they're still pretty triggered. It takes a little more than just awareness. It also takes toughness. But if we do the tapas without a full understanding, we run into the problem of denial. You're not really dealing with it. So it's a balance. It's a balance. All right, going on.
When you're in dead earnest, you bend every incident, every second of your life to your purpose. You do not waste time and energy on other things. You are totally dedicated. Call it will, love, or plain honesty. We are complex beings, at war within and without. We contradict ourselves all the time, undoing today the work of yesterday. No wonder we are stuck. A little integrity would make a lot of difference. Questioner: what is more powerful, desire or destiny? Maharaj: desire shapes destiny. Questioner: and destiny shapes desire. My desires are conditioned by heredity and circumstances, by opportunities and accidents, by what we call destiny. Maharaj: yes, you may say so. Questioner: at what point am I free to desire what I want to desire? Maharaj: you are free now. What is it that you want to desire? Desire it. Questioner: of course I am free to desire, but I'm not free to act on my desire. Other urges will lead me astray.
And I'm going to push back a little bit on that. Why do I want what I want? Why does one person want this and another person want that? So yoga invites us to go deeper into that. What is the source of desire? And my reading of it all, my understanding is sometime in the past, a circumstance was pleasurable or good or joyful, and it makes me want to repeat it. Much of that's all unconscious. And that becomes the garden, the soil, the seeds of future desires. For example, what's the project you're doing with the people at the Cadillac Hotel?
Aging 360.
Yeah. Do you have any desire to do that?
No.
Why not? Yeah. You're both generous, caring people. He has one desire, you have another. Are you doing dance?
Yes.
Are you doing dance?
No,
Why not?
I don't. Yeah, I would.
Prarabdha.
Yeah.
Force of
Okay.
the past. Force of the past. You see. Yet you choose to respond to your desire to dance. You choose to respond to your desire to work for the aged. So Gita says guna and karma, the force of the past and the qualities of the mind. I would add to it, plus the karmic situation of our environment. So, for example, right now in our country, in the Bay Area, we have issues around homelessness. If that were not here, you may not be doing your Cadillac Hotel stuff. You may be doing something completely different. Years ago, you worked for Under One Roof.
Yes.
What was the mission of Under One Roof?
We raised funds for AIDS organizations.
Yeah. Now, AIDS organizations aren't needed like they were because of PrEP and antivirals.
Yeah.
People can be HIV positive, but it's a very manageable condition. What happened to Under One Roof?
It's closed.
In spite of your desire, the environment shifted. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So it's qualities of mind, force of the past, as it interacts with the larger karmic environment. So Gita is very clear. Those of us who are doing the 5th chapter right now, it hammers home. There's no person there as a free will agent. Of course, we experience it. I choose to do X, Y, or Z. It's not, oh, I'm going to sit here and God up there in the sky is going to fix me and tell me what to do and stuff like that. No, that's not our direct experience. We certainly experience desire and choice. And we have desire and choice, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. If desire and work were the only operative events, everybody would get what they want. That's not what happens. So from my viewpoint, I find this part of the teaching very useful because it removes regret for the past. I did what I did, and I could not have done any other. Why should I worry about the future? I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. I'll get my allotted dose of successes and failures, joys and sorrows. But I think the point about steadfastness that Maharaj is pointing out is everything can be useful for our yoga. If we have a disappointment, this teaches me to let go of my attachment to the fruits of action. It teaches me patience. It teaches me acceptance. And the positive things, watch your mind, and desire and object for desire become one. It's a taste of my self-nature. So yoga becomes the frame in which all of my life takes place. This is how Ram Dass framed it as grist for the mill. Everything in life is yoga. Everything. The most powerful of all gurus is my suffering. If I pay attention. Any thoughts on this? Going on.
Maharaj, you are free now. What is it that you want to desire? Desire it. Questioner, of course I am free to desire, but I am not free to act on my desire. Other urges will lead me astray. My desire is not strong enough, even if it has my approval. Other desires, which I disapprove of, are stronger. Maharaj, maybe you are deceiving yourself. Maybe you are giving expression to your real desires, and the ones you approve of are kept on the surface for the sake of respectability.
So, what I like to say is this. You take the word God, G-O-D. What we do is we grab it, we go, we take another O. So now we have G-O-O. my good is my God. I may have all sorts of spiritual ideas, but if my good is what's really important to me is the attention of others, money, security, getting to do what I want. Really about half of that's stuff. But if that's what really what my life is about, I may think I'm very spiritual. My good is my God. Now, the mind prefers the familiar. It will interpret the familiar as good. So much of what yoga is about is making the real good, the Shreyas, not the Preyas, as Kathopanishad says, familiar. This is why we practice. This is why we think about the path, self-realization, God. We read, we talk about it with our friends or family. We keep holy company. All these tools in order to make the real good. So then my mind will go that way. Any thoughts on this? Next, going on.
Questioner. It may be as you say, but this is just another theory. The fact is that I do not feel free to desire what I think I should. And when I seem to desire rightly, I do not act accordingly. Maharaj, it is all due to weakness of the mind and disintegration of the brain. Collect and strengthen your mind, and you will find that your thoughts and feelings, words and actions will align themselves in the direction of your will.
So we talk about how things come to be in my life. And the scriptures talk about the law of sankalpa. Sankalpa is a desire, a wish, a will, an intention, an imagination. Any sankalpa consistently maintained. So going back to what Maharaj says, I get distracted. You make your yoga the absolute center of your life. That's not contradicted or conflicted. So in the morning in my meditation, I may be absolutely committed to let go of my attachment to experiences gained through the senses and my identification with any personal sense of self. But by noon, I want so-and-so to do it my way. How could they have said that to me? Don't they know who I am? Oops. Contradicted and conflicted. Making sense?
Yes.
This is why my yoga feels wimpy. So what he's saying here is learning to bring the mind to a single point. Swamiji used to call this sublimation. I don't think it's a word psychology uses much anymore, do they?
Not that I know.
His definition of it is when I sublimate a lesser desire into a greater desire. The example I use in class all the time is college kids. There's someone who wants to do really well on a paper that's due on Monday and it's Friday night, and their friends say, hey, we're going out to get pizza and beer. You want to come with us? And the kid really wants to do that, but they want to do the paper more. No, you guys go ahead without me. I really want to focus on my paper. You sublimate a lesser desire into a greater desire. So my control issues arise. Why isn't the world behaving the way I think it should? Don't they know who I am? Then another thought arises. I want moksha. I'm going to endeavor to let go of my control issues. Quit trying to fix, change, or control other people or situations. Let it go, Jim. Let it go. Or any other situation. And be willing to fail. Another slogan. Anything worth doing is worth doing badly. Why? Because of it's very hard. And I'm just starting out with it. Probably not going to be very good at it in the beginning. So I have to be willing to work at it. But many of us, if we don't get instant gratification, are no longer steadfast. Any sankalpa consistently maintain. Nope. I'm gonna go be a bogey. It's easier. Well, why is that? Any thoughts on this? Going on.
Questioner. Again, a counsel of perfection. To integrate and strengthen the mind is not an easy task. How does one begin? Maharaj, you can only start from where you are. You are here and now. You cannot get out of here and now. Questioner. But what can I do here and now? Maharaj, you can be aware of your being, here and now. Questioner. That is all? Maharaj, that is all. There is nothing more to it. Questioner. In all my waking and dreaming, I am conscious of myself. It does not help me much. Maharaj, you were aware of thinking, feeling, doing. You are not aware of your being. Questioner. What is the new factor you want me to bring in? Maharaj, the attitude of pure witnessing, of watching the events without taking part in them.
Now,
Questioner.
let me stop there if I may. One thing he's not addressed. There's the old slogan. Do you know how you eat an elephant? One bite at a time.
Mhm.
So, if the mind is uncontrolled and feels uncontrollable, we start where we are, do our best, and be steadfast. So in the 6th chapter of the Gita, the Abhyasa Yoga, the yoga of meditation, at the end of it, Arjuna says, oh, Krishna, controlling the mind is like trying to control the wind. And Krishna says, that's true. But it can be done. practice. Keep on keeping on. So my invitation, do our yoga one day at a time. Don't worry so much about moksha off in the future. But today, okay, I have my duties, my niyatam karmas, my obligatory actions that I have to do. I've got to go to work, I've got to do housework, I've got things in my relationship, yada, 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 yada. But overarching mission, my purpose today is my yoga. You don't need to worry about tomorrow. What can I do today to practice viveka and vayana? It always boils down to that. Firm conviction in the intellect that Brahman alone is real and the phenomenal world is unreal. Brahma Satyam Jagan Mithya is called discrimination between the real and the unreal. That desire, notice we don't give it up all at once. To give up attachment to all experiences gained through the senses and all ideas of self, starting from the body up to and including Brahma, the creator, meaning I'm powerful. It's called Vairagya. First two things that Shankara lists in his qualifications of a fit student. And for the most advanced yogi, it's still the most important. Viveka Vairagya. Try to keep that in mind all day. Who am I? Not the body, not my ideas, not my feelings, not any personal sense of self. Oh, go. Aham Brahmasmi. Going on.
Questioner or Maharaj, the attitude of pure witnessing, of watching the events without taking part in them. Questioner, what will it do to me? Maharaj, weak-mindedness is due to lack of intelligence, of understanding, which again is the result of non-awareness. By striving for awareness, you bring your mind together and strengthen it. Questioner.
So let me stop there. So what you were sharing about the process of psychotherapy as you've been trained?
Yeah.
This is the same thing. It's not different. You just get the additional support of a good therapist to guide you, to help point. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Going on.
Questioner, I may be fully aware of what is going on, and yet quite unable to influence it in any way. Maharaj, you are mistaken. What is going on is a projection of your mind. A weak mind cannot control its own projections. Be aware, therefore, of your mind and its projections. You cannot control what you do not know. On the other hand, knowledge gives power. In practice, it is very simple. To control yourself, know yourself.
So, if my mind dwells with the thoughts, nobody loves me, everybody hates me, think I'm going to eat worms, my mind tells me that's true because so and so didn't pay attention to me, or this didn't happen in the world. I can come up with all sorts of stories. But what Maharaj is saying is that is my mind's projection. I'm not a helpless victim of it. Do the tapas. Jao. That's Hindi. What's Jao mean?
Go.
Get out. Good mantra. Jai. Jao. Om Namah Shivaya. Jao. Om Namah Shivaya. Is that the end of the chapter?
No, there's a little.
Okay.
Questioner. Maybe I can come to control myself, but shall I be able to deal with the chaos in the world? Maharaj. There is no chaos in the world except the chaos which your mind creates. It is self-created in the sense that at its very center is the false idea of oneself as a thing different and separate from other things.
Yes.
In reality, you are not a thing, nor are you separate. You are the infinite potentiality, the inexhaustible possibility. Because you are, all can be. The universe is but a partial manifestation of your limitless capacity to become. Questioner. I find that I am totally motivated by desire for pleasure and fear of pain. However noble my desire and justified my fear, pleasure and pain are the two poles between which my life oscillates. Maharaj, go to the source of both pain and pleasure, of desire and fear. Observe, investigate, try to understand. Questioner. Desire and fear are both feelings caused by physical or mental factors. They are there, easily observable. But why are they there? Why do I desire pleasure and fear pain? Maharaj, pleasure and pain are states of mind. As long as you think you are the mind, or rather the mind-body, you are bound to raise such questions. Questioner. And when I realize that I am not the body, shall I be free from desire and fear? Maharaj, as long as there is a body and a mind to protect the body, attractions and repulsions will operate. They will be there, out in the field of events, but will not concern you. The focus of your attention will be elsewhere. You will not be distracted. Questioner. Still, they will be there. Will I never be completely free? Maharaj, you are completely free even now. What you call destiny, karma, is but the result of your own will to live. How strong this will is, you can judge by the universal horror of death. Questioner. People die willingly quite often. Maharaj, only when the alternative is worse than death. But such readiness to die flows from the same source as the will to live, a source deeper than life itself. To be a living being is not the ultimate state. There is something beyond, much more wonderful, which is neither being nor non-being, neither living nor non-living. It is a state of pure awareness beyond the limitations of space and time. Once the illusion that the body-mind is oneself is abandoned, death loses its terror. It becomes a part of living. That's the end of the chapter.
What did I hear this week that was just so marvelous? Dying is a natural function of the body. It's like breathing, it's like eating, like any other body function. It's nothing to be afraid of. You are not your body. All right, let's start the next chapter.
Chapter 31. Do not undervalue attention. Do not undervalue attention. It means interest and also love. To know, to do, to discover, or to create, you must give your heart to it, which means attention. All blessings flow from it. Questioner. As I look at you, you seem to be a poor man with very limited means, facing all the problems of poverty and old age like everybody else. Maharaj. Were I very rich, what difference would it make? I am what I am. What else can I be? I am neither rich nor poor. I am myself. Questioner. Yet you experience pleasure and pain. Maharaj. I experience these in consciousness, but I am neither consciousness nor its content.
And remember, his word, use of the word consciousness, the translator, is Chaitanya, the stuff of mind. It's not background, the awareness. He uses awareness for Chit. Going on.
Questioner. You say that in our real being we are all equal. How is it that your experience is so different from ours? Maharaj, my actual experience is not different. It is my evaluation and attitude that differ. I see the same world as you do, but not in the same way. There is nothing mysterious about it. Everybody sees the world through the idea he has of himself. As you think yourself to be, so you think the world to be. If you imagine yourself as separate from the world will appear as separate from you, and you will experience desire and fear. I do not see the world as separate from me, and so there is nothing for me to desire or fear. Questioner. You are a point of light in the world. Not everybody is. Maharaj. There is absolutely no difference between me and others, except in my knowing myself as I am. I am all. I know it for certain, and you do not. Questioner. So we differ all the same. Maharaj. No, we do not. The difference is only in the mind, and temporary. I was like you. You will be like me. Questioner.
So, again, nobody fails in yoga. Everybody makes it in time. Going on.
Questioner. God made a most diversified world. Maharaj. The diversity is in you only. See yourself as you are, and you will see the world as it is. A single block of reality, indivisible, indescribable. Your own creative power projects upon it a picture, and all your questions refer to the picture. Questioner. A Tibetan yogi wrote that God creates the world for a purpose and runs it according to a plan. The purpose is good, and the plan is most wise. Maharaj, all this is temporary. I am dealing with the eternal. Gods and their universes come and go. Avatars follow each other in endless succession, and in the end, we are back at the source. I talk only of the timeless source of all the gods with all their universes, past, present, and future. Questioner, do you know them all? Do you remember them? Maharaj, when a few boys stage a play for fun, what is there to see and to remember? Questioner, why is half of humanity male and half female? Maharaj, for their happiness. The impersonal, avyakta, becomes the personal, vyakta, for the sake of happiness in relationship. By the grace of my Guru, I can look with an equal eye on the impersonal as well as the personal. Both are one to me. In life, the personal merges with the impersonal. Questioner, how does the personal emerge from the impersonal? Maharaj, the two are but aspects of one reality. It is not correct to talk of one preceding the other. All of these ideas belong to the waking state. Questioner, what brings in the waking state? Maharaj, at the root of all creation lies desire. Desire and imagination foster and reinforce each other. The fourth state, Turiya, is a state of pure witnessing, detached awareness, passionless and wordless. It is like space, unaffected by whatever it contains. Body and mental troubles do not reach it. They're outside, there, while the witness is always here. Questioner, what is real, the subjective or the objective? I am inclined to believe that the objective universe is the real one, and that my subjective psyche is changeful and transient. You seem to claim reality for your inner subjective states, and deny all reality to the concrete external world. Maharaj, both the subjective and the objective are changeful and transient. There is nothing real about them. Find the permanent in the fleeting, the one constant factor in every experience.
So when he talks about the subjective being changeable, he means our inner world of thoughts and feelings. But the reality, I, is changing. Going on.
Questioner, what is this constant factor? Maharaj, my giving it various names and pointing it out in many ways will not help you much unless you have the capacity to see. A man with poor vision will not see the parrot on the branch of a tree, however much you may prompt him to look. At best, he will see your pointed finger. First, purify your vision. Learn to see instead of staring, and you will perceive the parrot. Also, you must be eager to see. You need both clarity and earnestness for self-knowledge. You need maturity of heart and mind, which comes through earnest application in daily life of whatever little you have understood. There is no such thing as compromise in yoga. If you want to sin, sin wholeheartedly and openly. Sins, too, have their lessons to teach the earnest sinner, as do virtues teach the earnest saint. It is the mixing up of the two that is so disastrous.
Yes. So what does he mean by sin? When I extrovert into the world wholeheartedly, and I do it with eyes wide open, I see the inevitable results of it. Let me give an example. I'm angry with someone, and I decide I'm just gonna blast them with my anger. Anybody ever done that one?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the result?
Pain.
Their pain or yours?
Both.
Do you like it?
No.
Yeah. Master teachers, far more useful than some therapist or guru saying, you probably shouldn't act on your anger. So this is what he means by if you're going to sin, sin whole. Yeah, but what about a drug addict who kills themselves? They get the inevitable results. They get to come back and do it again. Maybe the next time someone says, you want a little bit of this, you want to shoot a little bit of that, they'll say, no. All right, a couple more minutes.
Nothing can block you so effectively as compromise, for it shows lack of earnestness, without which nothing can be done. Questioner. I approve of austerity, but in practice I am all for luxury. The habit of chasing pleasure and shunning pain is so ingrained in me that all my good intentions, quite alive on the level of theory, find no roots in my day-to-day life. To tell me that I am not honest does not help me, for I just do not know how to make myself honest. Maharaj, you are neither honest nor dishonest. Giving names to mental states is good only for expressing your approval or disapproval. The problem is not yours, it is your mind's only. Begin by disassociating yourself from your mind. Resolutely remind yourself that you are not the mind and that its problems are not yours.
Yes.
Questioner. I may go on telling myself, I am not the mind, I am not concerned with its problems, but the mind remains and its problems remain just as they were. Now please do not tell me that it is because I am not earnest enough and I should be more earnest. I know it and admit it and only ask you, how is it done? Maharaj, at least you are asking. That is good enough for a start. Go on pondering, wondering, being anxious to find a way. Be conscious of yourself. Watch your mind. Give it your full attention. Don't look for quick results. There may be none within your noticing. Unknown to you, your psyche will undergo a change. There will be more clarity in your thinking, charity in your feeling, purity in your behavior. You need not aim at these. You will witness the change all the same. For what you are now is the result of inattention, and what you become will be the fruit of attention. Questioner. Why should mere attention make all the difference? Maharaj. So far, your life has been dark and restless, tamas and rajas. Attention, alertness, awareness, clarity, liveliness, and vitality are all manifestations of integrity, of oneness with your true nature, sattva. It is in the nature of sattva to reconcile and neutralize tamas and rajas, and rebuild the personality in accordance with the true nature of the self.
So how Swamiji used to frame the way to heal the mind is to get out of the mind. It's a paradox. Start with Sakshi Bhava, taking on the attitude of the witness. If I really endeavor to maintain the witness of the mind, what to do about it becomes pretty clear. Okay, we need to stop there. Where are we so we know where to pick up next week?
Bottom of page 112.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Sri Guru Pyo Namaha. Hari